Ronnie Bardah. Welcome to the show, man. Thanks for being a high roller today.
No problem, buddy. Thank you for having me, brother. How's it going?
Everything's going well. I've cashed a few times since we last spoke in the Omaha High-Low tournament, so I'm running pretty well. I think I'm playing well, too, but every once in a while, you know, when you get busted from one of these tournaments, you really question yourself, did I make the right play? And I find I'm doing that a lot more these days.
Can't be result-oriented. Sometimes you make the right play, you bust anyways. But sometimes you can play hands differently, but it all depends,
Hey, speaking of playing hands differently, let's talk about, before we get to your accolades, let's talk about Miss Finland. I mean, she's absolutely stunning, just gorgeous. And she bluffed you, man, proving once again that AC-Deucey, never Lucy. Now, the media attention over that has been great. Has that been fun for you or a nuisance?
It's been fun. I'm one who doesn't get easily annoyed. I mean, every single day I walk in a poker room, I still hear it. And, any attention's good attention. And, it's fun. I don't mind it. I made a living folding, to tell you the truth. So sometimes you fold the best hand without any information. And, I'm confident in the way I play. Sometimes you make mistakes and things happen, but no, it's not really a nuisance. I like all the attention. It's fun for me, and I like laughing about it. It's getting old, but at the same time, it's
Let's talk about the importance of folding. And in that spot, I know you were playing for a lot of money, and you didn't really know much about her.
Yeah, I just basically flew to Barcelona the day before, and I was kind of, still little jet lagged, and off of the time and all, and I only got about 4 hours of sleep. Not blaming it on that, but it's it's definitely good to be focused when you're playing at any form of poker or you're doing anything in life, obviously. And didn't know who my opponents were until I got there, and then I seen she was the celebrity player at the table, because every table has a celebrity and a qualifier. So I had a chance to speak to her a couple hours before when we were doing makeup and doing interviews, pre-interviews and stuff like that. And I knew that she played poker. She had a little experience playing. She had just recently played a tournament, and so I know she knew how to. I knew she knew the rules and she knew how to play. I didn't think she was experienced, but she really wasn't. And so those are the only things I knew about her. So if you want to talk about the importance of folding, just to go aside a little before we speak about this hand, you got to be able to fold some big hands when you're behind. And we call people who don't fold calling stations. And I play a lot of limit hold'em. And limit hold'em, it's all about saving those bets. When you are behind and not calling down. And even if you're getting 15, 16 to 1, and a player always has it in some certain spot due to the action, you just got to muck. And it's kind of helped me limit on my hand reading abilities, knowing when I'm behind, and I'm able to fold some of these huge hands. And I've been right way more than wrong. And sometimes you got to be wrong though. And if you can't fold a winning hand, you just can't win at poker. I mean, if that makes any sense.
Right.
Sometimes you have to make these big laydowns, and it's all about survival and getting deep in tournaments. And sometimes you have to make some huge calls. I've been known to call people with ace high, bottom pair, and I've called a player with 9 high once a couple times actually in my life, and I was correct. So it's not like I'm always folding. But
let's talk about the bracelet. Every player's dream. 2012, 302 runners. It was a final table that included a Canadian, a killer too, Sorel Mizzi, a very good player. That must have been a real special moment for you, right? Taking home some WSOP glory.
Yeah, it was amazing. First of all, 6-handed limit hold'em is my favorite game to play. It's a lot of fun for me, and basically made up for most of my cash career is playing shorthand and limit hold'em.
So you were in your comfort zone.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely my comfort zone. Playing a lot of Foxwoods and the Brigada growing up, and traveling, playing the game, turning stone and stuff like that. So to win it in that game was just amazing. And the players that were there, Terrence Chan, being recognized as the best tournament limit hold'em player in the world. Sorel Mizzi just being an overall beast and just tournaments. It was special too. Chad Brown actually finished 9th, and he congratulated me after. He sent me a message on Facebook, and since then we were friends before. We knew each other, but from then and before he died, we actually kept in contact, and we talked from here to there every single time we see each other. And so he was there. And
that's a great loss for the poker world, isn't it, Chad Brown?
Yeah, he was such a nice guy. Just a real straight shooter. Just a really kind-hearted dude, and he didn't have a bad bone in his body. The good really die young. R.I.P. Chad Brown. He's a great guy.
Yeah, so you're at a 6-handed final table. I mean, when it's 12-handed, there's a lot of top-notch talent there. So it comes with extra, recognition and bragging rights, because a shorthanded table is always a tough table. There's not much dead money.
No, there's not much dead money at all. You had Maria Ho also, and you had the kid that I beat heads up, who's recognized as one of the best limit mixed game, cash game players and limit hold'em players, Marco Johnson. You had the kid Brent Wheeler, who's got 2 bracelets in limit hold'em. He finished 4th. And you had a kid named Vincent, who's a cash game. I mean, you just don't have any soft spots, to tell you the truth, when we're down to 12. Not at all. And obviously running good had a big part to play with my success in that tournament, but also I was really, really on my game those last 2 days. So I mean, everything has to go right for you to win a bracelet, and it just did. And it was definitely one of the best parts of my poker career and in my life. Winning that bracelet there with everybody watching, had a huge rail, and it was really cool.
Congratulations on that. Hey, talk about press being good press. Your main event run has been absolutely super impressive. 5 straight years you've cashed. Going for 6th this coming summer. Can you talk about some moments over those 5 years that stood out for you? You don't have to delve into each year, but if there's a couple special moments that really... I mean, you got a lot of ESPN coverage this year too, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, they gave me... on that day one, the first episode, and going into the first 2 episodes, I had more coverage than anybody, even more than Ivey for the first one. It was pretty crazy. They really focused on me, and I really appreciate ESPN for, showcasing my name and my face. It was really cool, and it gave me a lot of new people in the poker world know who I am and stuff, and it was really good for me. And but going back to your question about if any spot stuck out, yeah, I've only played the main event 6 times, once in 06, and then the last 5 times I've cashed.
That's unbelievable.
Thank you. I missed the main event 07, 08, 09, just because I didn't have. I could have sold action. I was really weird on selling action. I always like to have at least 80-90% of myself in tournaments. I would looking back, I would say it's kind of stupid. If you're not going to play it, I've had people offer to put me in and stuff. I just always turn them down. I'm just weird like that. So anyhow, 2010, I came back, won my seat online in Israel, playing at my cousin's house, and I came back, and it was the only tournament I played that year, and that was my deepest run. I finished 24th. But on day 6, I had to go to the emergency room because I was really sick. I had 103-degree fever. So going to day 7, I left the emergency room at 7 in the morning, got back to my hotel room at the Rio, slept 2 hours, and did an hour interview. So I had 2 hours of sleep on day 7. That's when I really blinded down from one of the top 10 chip leaders with 70-something left to be 23 of 27. So it had a lot to do with me getting short. But it was a sick run, and then it's just kind of, that was my first of my 5, and then the next 4 years, I didn't really, obviously think about a streak until I had 3 in 2012 when I won my bracelet and I cashed the main event that year. And I said, well, if I come back next year, I asked, what's the record? And they told me, it's 4. Everybody's in the 4. It's well, that'll be cool to tie it, at least, And then I didn't know Christian Harder also had 3, and he tied it. And then people were talking about, wow, you and Christian Harder both have 4 tied for the... You guys are coming back next year. If any one of you cash the main event, you'll have your own record. So I remember Christian busting on day 2 this last year, and he sent me a text message saying, "It's all you, buddy. Good luck." And just to do it, I remember being on the bubble. It's actually the first time I was short. The other 4 consecutive years, I had a lot of chips, and I wasn't in danger of bubbling at all. And this time, I got it all in 2 times on the bubble. I didn't blind out. I picked the spots I was supposed to, shove. I didn't by any means tried folding my way and just ante into the money just for the sake of the record. If you watch the broadcast, you'll see me shove ace-8 off. You'll see me shove. I got it in 2. They didn't show one hand, but I raised called off 10s for half my stack with 35 left. The guy had ace-queen, turned to queen, and that got me really short. And I had 8.5 big blinds, and I shoved ace-8 off with 14 left, and then cut off with 8.5 bigs. And a lot of people would be like, "Oh, you could have folded into the money," but I'm obviously trying to build a stack. I'm trying to go deep instead of just min cashing. So it was nice. I won that race, ace-8 versus 5s. I hit an ace on the river. I turned a straight draw. It's also on the broadcast. That's on the broadcast.
I mean, it's really special. It's a piece of poker immortality for yourself. It's a legacy, and we really got a sense of what it meant to you on the ESPN broadcast because, it was a big relief, and it was also very special. It was evident on your face.
Yeah, I have a lot of people. The main reason for that is I have a lot of people, who don't have the opportunity to play the main event that message me on Facebook, and a lot of people that message me through my phone or Twitter, and people from my home casino that say they're pulling for me. A couple guys that are sick back home, older gentlemen that have cancer or they're not doing so well. They just kind of live through, my success and stuff at the World Series, and it's like when I perform, I'm performing for them, and it's like, you know, when I do something at the World Series of Poker, I'm representing, you know, the people I grew up playing poker with, and you know, I'm aware of that, so that's why I got pretty emotional, because you know, all the messages and support people send me, it makes me, you know, it makes me real passionate. I'm a very empathetic person, so I can't help it sometimes, you know. But that's actually the first time I've actually cried at a poker table, you know. Besides when I won my bracelet, I kind of teared up at the end, you know, when I won my bracelet in 2012. But you know, it just, I think about all them and the people that support me, and it just had me tear up a little. Well, and it was cool. I got emotional too. It was a pretty cool record. It was pretty fun.
Yeah, it's a pretty special moment, and it seems like if anybody's got the main event figured out, it's you. Can you imagine not cashing in 2015?
Yeah, it's been pretty weird. Every single time I come to the video, if people want to know what level and when we cash, they always come to me like, "Hey, Ron," they text me, "Hey, Ronnie, when do we cash the main event?" It would be pretty weird. I don't even know how I don't know how it doesn't feel like. I don't know how it feels not to cash in the main event. To tell you the truth, I mean, 2006 was over almost 10 years ago now. You know, 10 World Series ago, basically. And I just don't know how to, I don't know. It would be weird busting like day 2 or day 3 or day 1, you know, just like being out. You know, I just take one day, one level, one day at a time. And, you know, my style is it's pretty conducive to the World Series structure and the main event structure and the chips and the field, and just like, you know, I hope to keep cashing. It would be nice to go 6, 7, 8. You know, this year I'm doing it for Norman Chad because he doubted. He said that 5 in a row will definitely be broken, and I just want to do 6 so I can just yell into the camera and say, "Hey, Norman, who's going to break 6?"
That would be awesome. Well, good luck on that. I know you're big into fitness, Muay Thai. Are you a big UFC fan? If so, do you follow the John Jones situation? Do you have any thoughts on that?
To tell you the truth, I love Muay Thai. I just booked my ticket to Thailand. I'm going to Amsterdam first, and I'll be in Thailand on the 12th to Muay Thai. Hopefully, I just sprained my ankle 2 weeks ago playing basketball. I'm in like a wrap right now. So hopefully, that doesn't affect it. I'm not, to tell you the truth, I know some of the big UFC names. I've actually been to a couple UFC fights. I've watched it on pay-per-view. My friends get pay-per-view, or go to like, you know, bars and watch it. But I don't keep up with all the fighters and stuff. I'm bad with names, so I really have a tough time keeping up with all those guys. A couple of my friends are huge fanatics, and they don't practice Muay Thai, nothing. And on the other end, I like to practice and go and spar and kickbox and stuff. And with some of these guys that train Muay Thai, train MMA, do all that else. But I don't follow the sport like that, so I don't even know Jim Jones, his name is?
John Jones. No, that's all good.
John Jones, I don't even know.
It's obviously helped your poker game. I mean, I know you made that conscious decision in 2010 to sort of get your health right. It must drive you crazy when you're sitting at a poker table and you see some guys come in that just don't care about their health at all. I mean, does that drive you nuts?
It doesn't drive me nuts. It just makes me feel bad for them in a sense. You know, some people have some health conditions that don't allow them to exercise, or they just can't help it. So that's a different story. But I to tell you the truth, I actually don't like when people say that some of their health conditions, because everybody can help it. It's kind of an excuse for them. But I do feel bad for some people. And I just really wish that, you know, it's like it's food addiction's a drug, you know, and people like, I can't have it with no sugar, I can't have it with no butter. It's just because your mind and your brain is trained. It's like a trigger in your brain when you taste sugar. It's a drug, you know. If you keep lowering the amounts of intake of sugar, and you get down to no sugar, and you have tea or coffee or, you know, water, you go back to soda or coffee with tons of sugar. It's too much. It's like it'll make you sick. So it's just really training your mind and training your body to get off of things. And people just don't have people just don't want, you know, it does kind of drive me a little crazy, but, you know, I wish the best for everybody, and I try to help people with their nutrition and stuff, and I tell people.
Well, one of the things I've noticed is a lot of the top players, you look at Antonio Esfandiari, all these guys, they seem to be just ripped. I mean, they're getting in shape. It means they're healthy at the poker table. Their mind is right. And obviously they feel confident. And as a result, they must play better. Ronnie, I don't want to keep you too long. I want to ask you quickly about 4 poker players and get your thoughts. The 2014 main event champ, Martin Jacobson.
You know, when he won, I was so happy for him. If there's anybody who deserves it at that final table, it would be him. I know he's got a pretty huge. He's had a lot of success before then, tons of final tables. He's the most accomplished player at that poker table, and, you know, the cream rised, and he won, and he's a great ambassador for the game. Good kid. Obviously, like you said, they compare him to Kuhn. I don't compare any poker player to that kid, Jason Kuhn. He's just a beast. but the kid, Marco Jason, stays in shape, and you know, I heard he's a nice guy, and I'm happy for him. Nice guy.
Phil Hellmuth.
Phil Hellmuth. I met him actually in Malta. for WPT in Malta. I have nothing bad to say about Phil Hellmuth. Great guy. A little obnoxious and a little full of himself, and he thinks he's entitled to like a lot of things. But you know what? He's responsible for a lot of these tournaments being so publicly watched and viewed on TV and stuff. And it's because of guys like him that some of these huge tournaments are going off, and some of these numbers are up there. Like the poker brat. It's just cool. I mean, I have no problem with Phil. I'm glad he's in the poker world. He's a big part of it.
Have you got any problems with Daniel Coleman?
Daniel Coleman is he's a little outspoken, and some of the things he did when he won all that money, saying that poker's the devil and poker's evil and all this bullshit. It's why are you playing the game? You're there. You should be. I'm not saying promote it, but at least say something, especially for a charity tournament. Show your face, say thank yous to this, to that. I don't know. He's kind of young. He has a lot to learn, and obviously, I got really upset when he was bad mouthing Phil Hellmuth. One thing I only agree with him is about him saying that like Phil Hellmuth came up to him and was like, "Oh, now you made it, so shake my hand. Like you made enough to know me when you won the tournament." And I don't like him calling Phil Hellmuth cancer and saying all these fucked up things about Hellmuth. This is a guy because of him is the reason why, like, one of the biggest reasons why you were able to play these huge tournaments. And I think you just, even though Phil can be a clown, just pay respect to the guy. I mean, he's just, I don't know. Daniel Coleman's, in my opinion, kind of a, I don't know. I really don't want to say any more bad things about the kid because it's not nice to say. My mom always told me it's not nice to say bad things. Keep it to yourself. But I'm not a big fan. He's from Massachusetts. I'm from Massachusetts. I just know the kid has a lot to learn, and I'm not really a big fan of his. And I know the kid's brilliant and smart dude and a good poker player, obviously, but just not a big fan.
And lastly, Phil Ivey. Have you had any contact with him?
Yeah, Ivey. I got close to him during the summertime. I'm one of his. Ivey Poker is kind of down at the moment. I heard they're relaunching it. I haven't spoken to him in a few months since the series. I was very fortunate to get close to him during the World Series this year and know him more as a person. I partied with him a few times, and we talked. We exchanged. We've talked. We've hung out quite a bit this World Series, and he's a straight up. He's a good dude. He has a lot of people that are up in his face all the time. So you have to understand that he's not like really a people's person. He doesn't really want to be around people. But he's a great guy. Ivey's a good dude, and I'm happy that I got to know him a lot better this year.
Well, listen, Ronnie, thank you so much. I mean, we interviewed you once, and for some reason the tape screwed up. You were gracious enough to do it again, so thank you for your time. Good luck on a bracelet this summer, and also number 6 straight in the main event. So good luck, man. Thank you.
Hey, D, thanks a lot for having me, brother. And I'm always happy to help.